Sickos. I'm LJ.
And I'm Toe.
And this
Is a special bonus episode.
Woo! You know where you are.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us for this extra special, just like bonus situation that we've got for you here today.
Yeah, we're just going to do a real quick little casual Q&A for you guys. I think we have some questions that were sent in by our listeners, right, LJ?
Yeah, and most of them are just like pretty generic, get to know you type things, but there are a couple in here that are just like different and fun, and this will just be like a cute, quick little something to tide y'all over until the next episode.
Okay, let's get to it.
Okay, so first question we have here is just share an embarrassing moment. What's your embarrassing moment, Toto?
Oh God, what's my embarrassing moment? You know what? I should have previewed these before we recorded. God, you're putting me on the spot.
I did preview them because of who I am as a person, so I guess I'll go while you like marinate on it for a sec, if that sounds good.
Great. Sounds
Okay.
great.
So this one is like, I can barely get through this because I just cringe so bad when I think of this situation. But this is like pre-COVID. I think you've heard this story before, but I was looking at cruises, right?
Okay.
And I was going back and forth with this guy, you know, for like a couple of months, like trying to just book like the exact right cruise package, right? And every time that I addressed this man, I was like, you know, at the beginning of my email, I was like, good morning, Raymundo, or like, good afternoon, Raymundo. I have a quick question for you or whatever. Okay, so it wasn't until like way after the fact, like after COVID, when I went back, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I want to go on a cruise. Maybe I should hit up Raymundo since it fell through. His name was literally never Raymundo.
Stop.
It was Raymond.
It was Raymond.
And I just literally, like, I couldn't even reach back out to him because I was thinking of, like, rocket power, like, wiggity wiggity Raymundo. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, look it up. But I'm like, he just straight up let me call him Raymundo for, like, 2 months.
That's
Took
classic.
it like a champ. I hated it. I still hate it. Shout out to Raymundo from Carnival Cruise Lines. If you're listening, I'm so sorry and I'm so mortified still.
God. So, you know what? When I think of embarrassing moments, none of them are safe for work.
That's valid.
But, yeah.
Are they safe for the pod? Safe for the pod?
Are they safe for the pod? Well, let's just say there was this one time I got caught at work doing things that you shouldn't be doing at work.
Ma'am! This is I think I know exactly the situation you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you know, this is we're just gonna leave it at that. We got caught doing things that we shouldn't have been doing at work with a coworker. That's probably the worst. Don't do that.
That'll do it.
Don't shit where you eat.
Barf. I hate that euphemism. God. Okay, next question. What's your favorite animal?
Oh, animal. Probably either cows or specifically like dogs, but specifically either like bully breeds or like Rottweilers, like the so-called like scary breeds.
Yeah, the ones that like
I hate to use that term, but I feel like that's the best term that I could use. It's just like the breeds that people perceive as like, I have a soft spot for the breeds that people perceive as aggressive.
Sure. No, like as an insurance agent, you know, we have to ask people about dog breeds and stuff. And people will be like, oh, I don't know, he's a mix. And I'm like, okay, is he a mix that would be like considered a fake naughty dog? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I'm like, I hate saying like, are they an aggressive dog breed? Because I'm like, let's be honest, like, it's not that they're like inherently aggressive. It depends so much on environment, like how they're raised, etc. Like, you know, I hate asking, but yeah, like, is it a fake naughty dog?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, like with my dog that I had previously, rest her soul.
Yeah. Shout out Daisy. We fly high, baby girl.
Shout out Daisy, the deceased pit bull.
Yeah. Love her SM.
Hate that our humor is the way it is. So, but yeah,
okay. Well, I'm gonna answer it first. You whore. Sloths and dolphins. They're like my two faves. I have a.
Oh, I forgot you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what the fuck? I want to say my favorite animal. Like, I don't care if you want to know. I'm telling you.
LJ does love a sloth.
I do. That's like when my husband died, as one does, I had like a quarter life crisis and I started bucket listing, and that's something that like immediately I was like, oh my God, if I had died tomorrow, I will have never held a sloth. So I like booked a zoo encounter like with haste, and I went and I pet this sloth named Lady at the little zoo that could in Alabama, which is such a cute little zoo. And it was precious, and I loved her.
I'm sorry, is that the actual name of the zoo?
So it's a different name. I think it's like Gulf Coast Zoo or something. It's in Alabama. But the reason that they call it that is because they were completely like obliterated from a major hurricane, and they successfully like completely relocated all of their animals and rebuilt from the ground up.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, they're precious, and so everybody like affectionately calls them the little zoo that could.
Oh, I love
which they're precious. Shout out them. Yeah, and then dolphins. Like, I just love fucking dolphins so much. They just eat. Even though like my husband is still like convinced that dolphins are like capable of hate crimes. That's an actual belief that he had. He thought like all dolphins were rapists. So like shout out to Ian in the afterlife who like hears me talking about this and he's like, not the dolphins.
Not the dolphins.
Still my
favorite. Didn't you once drag him forcefully into a dolphin encounter and he was terrified?
I absolutely did. I wanted to do swim with dolphins. He's like, I'm not getting in the water with them. They'll have the upper hand. They'll have the advantage. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen here? So we did like a dockside dolphin encounter instead. And I have never seen a man so uncomfortable around an aquatic mammal in my life.
I love it.
It was like a discomfort that was unprecedented. Like nobody else is that uncomfortable around freaking dolphins. They're precious. But he was. And now we can do next question. Now we can do it.
Okay, next question.
What is your favorite episode you've recorded so far? Why?
Ooh, that is gonna be probably oh God, if I say the first one, people are gonna think I'm a psycho. Dennis Nielsen was a good old-fashioned lunatic.
Yeah, that one was shocking.
Yeah, and I think there was just so many twists and turns in that story.
Yeah, my particular favorite turn was when he was like, maybe it's just like somebody dumping their KFC in the toilet.
Yeah, that was a
Sir.
good one. There was also
Yeah.
maybe Eastern Airlines, just because of the plane involvement.
Which is super valid. Again, shout out Jack for that suggestion, because that was just way up our general alley, especially Toto.
Yeah, I just had to shout out that episode just because of the plane involvement, just because, like, how many times in our niche are we going to get a chance to geek out about planes?
Oh my god, that beep was obnoxious. So sorry. But yeah, no, that was a good episode. I think my favorites, like, I hate being that person, but like I really just liked our first episode. I liked researching it. And it was also just like a nostalgic aspect for me. It was the Robert the Doll Key West episode with Robert Eugene Otto. And like, as somebody who comes from like just this big family, like I'm one of 8 kids, we RV'd, and like that was something we were really fortunate to do, was RV like cross country. I didn't really appreciate it at the time. We did like all these ghost tours like across the whole country, and one of my favorites that we've ever did was the Key West Ghosts and Graveyards tour. Shout out also them, because that's where I like first bumped into this story. And then like when I initially met my late husband, we did like a Key West vacation because we were long distance, and we did that ghost tour as well. So there's just like a nostalgic component. It's such like a classic, you know, Florida haunting story, and it's like creepy and close to my heart. And then also the Disney hauntings, like if I got to pick a second one, just because you know how I am, and I love me some Mouse Country.
If you've noticed a pattern here, LJ loves the paranormal stuff, and I'm more of a serial killer person.
Yeah, that's valid. I'm just always like so intrigued by stuff that it's like we don't really understand it. You know, like it just intrigues me. Like I don't want to mess with it. I just like to read the spook, you know?
Yeah,
like I just appreciate
valid.
it. Yeah. Let's see, what's the next question here? Oh, favorite movie and favorite quote or scene from that movie.
Oh gosh, favorite movie. Little Nicky, and now you're gonna see what a big horny bird looks like in hell.
Oh my god, that checks out now.
I feel like this came up recently, and was it on the pod or was it not on the pod?
It was on the pod, but it's going to be in an episode that they actually probably won't hear for a little bit, because this one's going to come out first, actually.
Yeah.
So, like, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but you guys will hear it later.
Yeah.
But Little Nicky, and now you're gonna see what a big horny bird looks like in hell.
That's relevant. Mine would be The School of Rock with Jack Black. I'm like still in love with Jack Black. I don't even care. Sorry, John.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
Literally, I'm like, I just love that man. It makes
not
no
from the School of Rock, but
it makes no logical sense. I love him in Nacho Libre. I love him in School of Rock. And I can like repeat the entire School of Rock movie. I'm like, if I like had to pen like a favorite quote or scene, oh my god, I love that scene where he's in the classroom and he's like being peer pressured into singing his song, and he's like, okay, like I guess I can share it with you. And he acts like all shy about it, but then he's like, then there's fog and there's this and there's that, and he goes into this whole like elaborate song that he wrote about like his roommate situation and his band situation. You think you'll be just fine without me, but you're mine. Like I could literally do the whole song, but I will spare you. But I want to sing it right now.
I did School of Rock. I did love School of Rock. Yeah. I did love School of Rock. That was a great movie.
Kick me out of the band. God, that's just one problem there. I'm done. Cut me off, bartender. All right, love me some Jack Black. Let's see. Did like mental inventory.
Next question.
Next question. Maybe never ask me that again. Let's see. Something you're looking forward to covering later.
I'm starting to outline the case of the girl who inspired the Amber Alert.
Oh yeah,
So,
I'm excited
yeah,
to hear.
probably not.
I know in the
I'm looking
future
forward
we've talked about doing some like destination episodes, which I mean that might be like a little further out. I don't know, but like even like we have some cool places around here, like when Toe visits us, like St. Augustine even and stuff isn't too far. Like I'm looking forward to that, doing like destination episodes where we can like go somewhere haunted and report back to you guys, or like yeah. Like, I mean, maybe even like go live at some of these places and stuff. I don't know. I just think that would be like such a cool concept. And again, just like nostalgic because like I used to do that stuff with my family before the interwebs and YouTube and all of that was like really a thing. I mean, the interwebs were a thing, not 500, but
yeah,
YouTube wasn't really. Yeah. Cool.
YouTube wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Do you have a spooky anecdote, a personal spooky anecdote?
A personal spooky anecdote. Well, you know what? I think I've shared this one on the pod before, but I'll just touch back on it again. Yeah, when I was 16, my friends and I made this Ouija board out of a piece of like, you know that like cheap particle board furniture.
Yeah.
We made a Ouija board out of that, and then we did the letters and stuff with like nail polish. And we used a shot glass as the little movie aroundy thing. It has a name, I forget what it's called.
Truly horrifying.
Truly horrifying. And I will tell you, some weird shit started happening. So we had like, this was in my basement. And my basement was set up as like a party house.
Mm-hmm.
And there is I had a Tupac CD in the CD player. Fun fact about Toe, I have Tupac's entire discography. I love me some Tupac. And Tupac has a song that goes, da, 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 all you, word I'm not going to say, die.
What?
Yeah. And so we all know the word I'm talking about if you're familiar with Tupac's discography. So, God, where was I? So yeah. So anyways, that song just like, so that song was like track I don't know what on the CD. It was like not the first track, right?
Right.
But we're just sitting there one day in the living room. We're not even in the basement. And all of a sudden, this is after the Ouija board thing, all of a sudden, we start hearing blasting from the basement, da, 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 all you blank, die.
I hate that.
Yeah. Super spooky. And like a bunch of other spooky stuff started happening. But yeah, that would be my spooky anecdote.
Yeah, that's a spooky one. I hated it.
Yeah.
I guess mine's another one for like the don't play with Ouija boards thing. I can't say it enough. Like I can't stand them. They're terrifying. If I'd known as a child like how real and how dangerous they actually are, like I never would have touched them. I thought it was like Monopoly, but spooky, you know, like spooky Monopoly. It's not real. Like it's just whatever.
Yeah, but
anyway,
they're marketed as a children's game.
That's the thing, fam. Is like I was literally in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade or whatever. And this is something that was like provided by parents at a sleepover as like a sleepover game. Like I genuinely did not know any better, especially growing up in a generation that was like at the bust of Harry Potter, you know, if that makes sense. It just seemed like another like spooky make believe, like whatever, you know what I mean? But I didn't think that I thought it was as real as Hogwarts, you know?
Absolutely.
He still waited on my Hogwarts letter for like a little too long, which is like a different problem.
I was also very cautiously optimistic on my 11th birthday.
I was also cautiously optimistic about the red man from the pole for like way too long as well, though. Like,
That's valid.
way too long. But anyway, so I'm gonna preface this with that. Like, I'm not proud of the fact that like I messed with that stuff when I was younger, but I'm thoroughly convinced to this day, like, you really can't change my mind that weird stuff has happened in my household, like home from where I grew up. I didn't even play with it there. I just think bad energy like follows you and stuff, you know? But like weird stuff has happened in my family home, and like just generally, like if you get to know me, get to know like my personal story, I've just had like an abundance of very, very bad luck, which is not to be like, whoa, pity is me or whatever. Like my life is what it is, and I make damn sure well, like make the best of it. But point being, like, I just think that that opens up bad stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this story is a few years back. At the time, my mom and I were in a bit of a rocky place, like from a relationship standpoint, and I moved out at the time. Now, that said, like that's like personal stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but we're in a great place now. So I'll just say that. Like we have a really good relationship now, and I'm very grateful for the mommy daughter glow up, I guess. So appreciate that. But at the time, we were not in the best place. And so I moved out of, you know, my mom's house or whatever. And my mom has this photo of me that is like her fave. She loves this childhood photo of me. And like, I love that she loves it. And not to take that away from her, because like, so happy for her, glad she loves it. It's just not my favorite picture of me. I feel like just as a child, like,
Yeah.
looked so awkward, you know, and
I feel like probably, you know, like when your kids grow up, I'm sure like that exact same, like you'll probably have a favorite photo that they're gonna be like, ew,
ew, like,
what is
why,
that?
mom, why put it
M-
away? And
My
that
mom,
yeah, go ahead.
my mom has a favorite photo from my childhood. She forgot that it was picture day. This was like in preschool. She forgot that it was picture day, and she sent me to school in like a sweatsuit, like those classic '90s,
Right.
you know, sweatsuits.
Yeah.
But she's like, "That's my favorite pictures ever. I love them."
Yeah.
Like still to this day, she's like, "Yeah, it's weird."
She's like, we love those. Those are our favorites. And that's kind of how this is with my mom. Now, my mom's also like a very devout Catholic woman. I come from a very devout Catholic family. And this photo is a photo of me in my communion dress, which my mom picked out. God love her. But again, this would have been like very, very, very early 2000s, because I would have been 8. I'm a 94 baby. You do the math. So
Yeah,
anyway, fashion then wasn't what it is now. And my communion dress had this like it's almost like an oversized bib built into it. And I was just like, yeah, it was God love her. Like I love that she loved it. It's just not my favorite, you know, but with my mom, like looking at it with mommy eyes and knowing like how devout my mom is, I know that she looks at that photo and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that was the day that you received your first communion. It was so beautiful, etc., etc." I hear her, like, "You're seen. Glad you love it. It's just not my favorite, right?" And
yeah,
I know how my mom feels about the picture, and my mom knows I know how my mom feels about the picture, and my mom knows how I feel about the picture, right? It's not a secret.
yeah,
Like, it's kind of just like, oh, like, it's not my favorite. Like, I'm wearing a bib, basically, but like, glad you love
yeah,
it. So, but it's like a joking point, you know? It's not like whatever. But at the time, you know, we just weren't in the best place. I went to move out, and this photo goes missing. I didn't know it at the time either, because, you know, I mean, I was still like checking in with her and stuff, but my mom apparently for months was like very mad about this, that this photo went missing. I mean, she looked all around the house. My family members helped her look. Nobody could find the photo. So they reached the only like logical conclusion, which was that like I was just kind of being a bitch and took that photo to spite my mom, which like I would never do that. Like even if, you know, we're having a disagreement and we're just not in the best place right then, like that's just not something that I would do. I know it's my mom's favorite picture. Like I'm not going to steal, first of all, but I'm certainly not going to steal like your prized childhood photo of me. Like I would
Yeah.
never. But it just, nothing else made sense. Like, where would this photo go? Like, nobody just like takes a photo unless they have a reason to. And I guess like if we're in a family dispute, maybe she thought that, I was just being petty. Like, I get it. I would probably think the same thing, right? Well, this goes on for months. My mom is like really pissed about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one day, my mom goes into her room and the photo's just there. It's just there where it always was before. And she
Ew.
knows it wasn't there before. I had not been home. I had not like visited, because I mean I was living pretty far away at the time, so like it's not like we wouldn't see each other, but my parents have two houses, and so when I would visit them, I was visiting them like at the other house. There's literally no way that I would have been able to just like deposit this. I was living like 13-hour drive away with kids,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it wasn't happening. So my mom was like freaked out by it, like how does that happen? And I didn't find this out until I told my mom something else that had happened to me, which essentially, long story short, me and my child both had the same nightmare at the same time. And I called my mom
Yeah.
about it, like super freaked out. I'm like, I don't know if you believe in like what you believe in, but this is what happened. And I'm freaked out. My mom's like, well, like I don't know what Catholic doctrine is on it, because like I said, she's very devout Catholic, but she's like, but I have experienced some weird things, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but this is one of them. And she told me that story about the communion picture, and that just stands out to me as such like a bizarre thing. Like, to me, it just feels like some entity like knew that me and my mom were in a rough patch and was like preying on that, like trying to like really turn the knife in that relationship and like make it worse, whereas like that never happened or even would happen. And it really like took something creepily that's like religious and really important to my mom, and just like turned a knife in it. It just creeps me out to this day.
Spooky ooky.
Super spooky ooky. I guess let's lighten that one up a little bit, and we'll just like round this off with like one last one that's on the list. What is a pet peeve of yours?
Oh God. People.
She says people are my pet peeve.
Living, breathing adult human people.
The
Um,
worst.
honestly, I'm feral. I'm feral, and I don't even know if I could pick a pet peeve. I feel like I have at least 80.
That's fair. Like I always have like two pet peeves that come to mind like immediately. And
Mm.
I know that you know them. It's Amish reality TV and Bobby Flay. Always hate them.
Okay. Do I know those? I don't know that I know those.
Oh, really? I thought
I
we've
feel
talked
like
about it before.
I feel like being from Amish country, I should be more peeved about Amish reality TV than you are, because the
I don't know.
inaccuracy is so real.
I don't know what it is about it. Just the whole concept, though, because I'm like, how are you gonna have an Amish reality TV when the Amish like don't even do TV to begin with? Like, how did they find you, TLC? First of
Yeah,
all,
and so I will say, there's a lot of like naughty Amish out there. Like you guys, I live balls deep in Amish country, and
yeah.
if you're from Pennsylvania, you probably know what area that is. We have horse and buggy parking at the Costco.
Yeah, I've been out that way, and there was horse and buggy parking at an Arby's, and I lost my shit. I was like, the
Yeah.
Amish want beef?
Oh, the Amish want everything, and they love them some Costco. They love them
God,
some
love that
Aldi's
for
too.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
But
whole concept.
a lot of them like have iPhones and stuff too.
Oh, this is news to me. I guess just for
Oh
me,
yeah.
like, aside from the fact of like the initial conundrum for us, like non-Amish, where like the Amish don't TV, this like is a conundrum. It doesn't even make sense. Aside
Yeah.
from that, I just feel like it's a population of people like the whole premise, it's like this is a vulnerable situation where they're like,
yeah,
it's a vulnerable population. They're trying to, get out of a certain situation, and we're going to capitalize on their naivety for profit at their expense. It's gross to me. I just don't love that.
absolutely, yeah. And well,
Is
I
this
think
a pet peeve? Or I think this is just an ethical issue.
the good news is that it's all staged.
God, that's true. But yeah, even just like hearing about Amish reality TV just sets me off. Same thing with Bobby Flay. I just think he's gross. Like, beat Bobby Flay. Really? Are we that arrogant that you think like you can go into like a Black community or a Hispanic community or an Asian community and be like, I make better pad thai than you? Like, get your white ass out of here, Bobby. I am sure.
Okay. To be fair, I was not on the up and up that was a thing that Bobby Flay did, because I haven't heard Bobby Flay's name mentioned in like at least 15 years.
God, apparently it like really struck a nerve back in like the early 2000s because I'm still upset about it.
Okay, yeah, no, that is gross behavior. Like, I will acknowledge that. I was not aware that was a thing Bobby
Yeah.
Flay was doing.
I will never forget, like, when John and I first started dating, we were having those like early relationship talks. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's your
Yeah,
pet peeves or this, that? And I was like, oh, what are your pet peeves? And he was like, oh, I just like, I don't like it when people like can't like communicate about like their issues, or like if they need something but they like don't let you know what they need. And also like I can't stand it when like we're out to dinner or something and like somebody's on their phone the whole time. Like, I don't care if you have to like check on your kid for a second, but like I
yeah,
just
that
can't
is
stand.
annoying.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit. He was like, well, what are your pet peeves? And I was like, honestly, like your answer was so thoughtful, and all that like I had ready to go was Bobby Flay and Amish reality TV. So like, I'm sorry.
No,
He's like,
okay, you know
what?
what? I have a good pet peeve. Okay, I thought of one now. Besides just
Lay it on
people in
me.
general, and maybe this also isn't a pet peeve, maybe this is just a regular, I don't know. But when people just talk out of their ass about any particular topic, like, this is something that happens around me a lot. Now, for context, and I hate saying this because I sound so arrogant, but I'm just a person that has a lot of random information floating around in my head about a lot of niche topics.
Right. It's
Um,
true.
yeah, it's just who I am as a person. And and I don't claim to know everything, but every once in a while, I will hear a person just talking out of their ass about a topic that, you know,
It's like
I
you
feel
don't know about that.
yeah, I feel
You're
pretty
acting
educated
like
on.
you know about it, but I know that you don't know about it because I know
Yeah,
something about
it,
that.
it's the mansplaining. Like, I worked in, I don't think I've said this on the pod before, but I worked in agriculture for 7 years. So specifically the dairy industry. And so, I know my way around a dairy farm. I know what goes on. I know I know what the production looks like. I know what the regulations are, things like that. And the amount of people that try to mansplain dairy farming to me, because people look at me and they don't think, oh, farmer, you know and they're just like, yeah, well, this is how it works. And I'm like, no, bro, that's not how it works. Like, just stop that. And oh my god, and planes, people try to mansplain planes to me all the time, because it's also a topic that I happen to have some knowledge on. Planes, yeah. Be like, that planes like crash all the time and like they're so unsafe. I'm like, bro, planes are literally the fucking safest. Get out of here.
Planes are like,
Planes are life. Planes are everything. Couldn't get through an episode without mentioning that planes are everything.
God, so glad we squeezed that into this one. Would have been a travesty had we not touched on that.
He got a touchdown on the planes. No pun intended. Get it? Touchdown, like a plane landing.
I got you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, this was supposed to be a quickie episode, and somehow we're like 40 minutes of bullshit. So I guess
I hate that.
I know. Ew. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this. I know it's not like our regular content, but we just figured like, the researching cases is what takes so much of our time. So doing an occasional little like Q&A situation, or just like keeping it
Yes.
lighthearted and like whatever would be a fun way to just to get to connect with you guys a little bit more often. So yeah, Toto, you want to wrap it out with our socials?
Yeah, and also I just want to apologize for any background noise, you guys. This was like really impromptu, and we're
Yeah,
literally recording this like in the middle of our everyday lives. We're not even in like our pod holes. We're like in our cars. So
literally. Yeah, this is like feral recording,
yeah,
honestly, but just for
absolutely.
funsies, you know?
Just for funsies. But yeah, check us out on all our socials, guys. You know the deal. We're on Facebook. Say Psycho right now, a true crime and paranormal podcast. Did I get it right
You
finally?
did. And I will just say, like, as a general rule, if you go look for our link tree, I would say that's the easiest way to find us. Like, our link tree is
Yeah.
published on all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever your preferred social media platform is. Our link tree is in the bio. I think it's even like linked to our podcast episodes on most platforms.
Oh my
So just follow
God.
the link tree. Everything's there.
Sorry, I got distracted by a plane.
Wow, that's on brand.
On brand for sure. Yeah, but the link tree is great. And also go check out our store because our merch is really cute.
It is. Like, I wear it everywhere and get so many compliments on it. And I get to be like, thanks, made it myself. Except not really, because Savannah Shenanigans designed our artwork. So shout out to Savannah always.
She sure did. Love her so much. But anyways, yeah, so we're gonna drop this pretty much ASAP. And
Yeah.
this weekend, you guys will be getting, God, what are they getting this weekend?
The Body Brokers.
Body brokers, that's right.
Yeah, our
Spooky,
Patreons
ooky
already
body
have
brokers.
access. We dropped it a little early. We're recording this on Thursday, and we usually drop for Patreons on Friday, but we got it out a little early to you guys this week. For the rest of our little fam, you non-Patreon public people will be getting it on Monday as scheduled. So
Scheduled.
perfect. All right. Well, love you guys so much. If you didn't think this was trash, comment below. Also, if you think this is trash, like, comment below still. Like, that's valid. We'll stop.
Yeah, I mean, hate the algorithm don't recognize hate, baby.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you guys so much.
Toodaloo.
Bye. Okay, perfect.
Oh no, did we perform a fuckaroni?